A couple of years ago, generating a poem about your dog in ChatGPT was a fun party trick. Today, professionals are using these same models to compress 8 hours of research into 20 minutes. But most people are still stuck in the overwhelmed basic user phase. They have one tab open to a single prompt box, they throw every task at it, and they're increasingly frustrated because the results feel generic and require heavy manual fixing. There's a transition happening right now, moving away from being a passive user and toward becoming what we call an AI generalist. You don't need a computer science degree or the ability to code to make this shift. Instead, you focus on curating a stacked toolkit of narrow, highly specialized applications. When starting a task, you face a choice. Defaulting to a general-purpose model causes heavy manual editing. The output is just off enough to be frustrating. But routing to a task-specific tool changes the math. You've built a workflow handling the heavy lifting. Success in this environment isn't about mastering 100 different tools. It's about picking one or two specific workflows, understanding their trade-offs, and letting that edge compound. The first workflow involves an active shift in how you choose your AI's brain. Rather than clicking the first bookmark on your toolbar, you start by looking at marketplaces to see which specific models are currently leading in categories like coding, finance, or logical reasoning. This is OpenRouter. It tracks hundreds of live models, allowing you to see exactly which systems are being utilized by other professionals for specialized work in coding or finance. To verify a model's accuracy, you can use an interface like GetMulti to send a single prompt to 4 different AIs simultaneously, letting you compare their reasoning side by side. This process reveals the precise AI brain that understands your industry's terminology better than a generic assistant. The trade-off is a higher cognitive load. You have to actively evaluate the answers, rather than passively accepting the first response you get. The second workflow is about removing the friction of meeting fatigue and the physical limit of how fast you can type. This involves deploying agents like fireflies to automatically join video calls, or using voice-to-text tools like Whisper to dictate complex thoughts directly into a prompt. While you focus on the human interaction, the AI runs in the background. It ingests the chaotic data of a conversation and structures it into something you can actually use. You get total automation of meeting notes and action items, along with the ability to query the transcripts of meetings you didn't even attend. But there is a trade-off. These tools require paid subscriptions, they raise corporate privacy questions, and they require a shifting culture to normalize having a bot present on every call. This third workflow is designed to minimize the risk of AI hallucinations when you need to analyze massive, dense files, like a 400-page IPO prospectus. Searching the open web for specific data is often unreliable. For high-stakes research, you need a closed data environment. You isolate your data by uploading PDFs into a tool like NotebookLM, or by using Claude Cowork to analyze documents within a local folder on your computer. This is how the model processes your data. It breaks the text down into individual tokens to map out the context of the entire document. This results in summaries and answers that are sourced exclusively from your provided files, making the information far more verifiable than a generic web search. The trade-off is absolute: garbage in, garbage out. Because the AI is restricted to your files, your results depend entirely on the quality of what you upload. The final workflow focuses on clearing the creative bottleneck, particularly in asset creation and marketing. Instead of building from scratch, you feed raw assets, like a product link into Fote.ai or a LinkedIn profile into Supergrow. The system instantly generates professional-grade social carousels or stylized product photo shoots. This collapses the time between a raw concept and a deployable high-fidelity asset. The trade-off here is the risk of brand dilution. Working at this speed can lead to robotic content. It still requires human taste and editing to ensure the final output feels authentic. While these 4 workflows drastically accelerate your output, they also change your relationship with professional liability. To manage this, you need a mental model called the agent-human architecture. This flowchart shows how automated labor is structured. Action and reasoning agents handle execution, flowing upward through validators. At the top is the Chief Accountability Officer, the human who owns the outcome and remains accountable if data is wrong. The golden rule is simple. The AI tool is allowed to expand the calculation, but the human must always make the final decision. So where do you start?
Your next step depends on where your current workflow is breaking down. Look at these categories and self-identify which profile matches your current role. If you're just starting, ignore the paid tools today. Simply take your next prompt and put it into Get Multi to compare how 3 free models handle the logic. If your calendar is your biggest bottleneck, adopt Notebook LM or Fireflies this week. Automating meeting ingestion offers the highest immediate return on your time. And if you have strict privacy requirements, skip the web tools entirely. Look into running open source models locally on your own hardware so your data never touches the internet. Integrating even one of these systems doesn't just save time, it gives you a massive level of leverage that was previously impossible for a single professional to manage.